Good morning, people. It's Mervelee Myers, the inspiring reporter, at your service. And as I went into the kitchen this morning, switch on the radio, what came on LBC News? 9 Met police officers charged for breaking COVID law. Yeah? I'm just going to show you on cam our decision about your complaint, and I'm going to read just a little bit. Complaints, allegations, and officers staff identified where relevant. Complaint number 1. B3, power to arrest and detain. You were arrested after explaining you couldn't attend the police station owing to other commitments and weren't given an opportunity to change the update time to negate the need for arrest. Yeah? Officer Holly Sweeney, that's the number. 2, B4, use of force. You are complaining about the way in which you were arrested, stating officers acted like hooligans. I asked him that he changed the hooligans because they did not act like hooligans. They act like thugs, terrorist thugs. Leaving you bruised owing to the way you were handled. Holly Sweeney, Nikki Wright. There was another one, it's 3 of them. Why did he leave out the male? B9, other policies and procedure. The officers did not wear or offer any personal protective equipment when dealing with you, putting you and your family at risk of COVID. Holly Sweeney, Nikki Wright, Harry Stack, Ben Godfrey. Yeah? I'm just going to read the outcome for the COVID, because the rest is a load of bollocks. Because I was supposed to have grabbed the taser and they had to push pressure on my fingers to release it. These fingers that I made the video recently, that were I don't know how you call it, the muscles, sometimes the muscles are gone. Rationale. The officer in the case has made attempts to deal with an investigation by way of interview without arrest. However, you have made it clear you would not attend without arrest, and furthermore were alleged to have committing further offenses, supporting a further need to arrest you to prevent further damage. I will go in that in more details. Rationale. The officer has clearly verbalized to you that you were under arrest and under caution. You were given a reasonable opportunity to comply with instructions to go with the officers, but resisted this by attempting to walk away, requiring the officers to restrain you in order to secure you. I'm going to state now, the officers who attended my home on the 30th of the 11th, 2020, from this report, I'm making the judgment that they did not switch on their body cam. So what they have done, they sent 2 officers came now on the 1st and trying to use whatever happened with those 2 officers to cover they not turning on their body cam on the 30th. Rationale. The officers have attended your home with the understanding they were there to carry out an arrest, meaning close contact could be likely and unavoidable. No officer has made any conscious effort to adhere to police policy, which is to wear PPE in such cases and to offer you too. The line manager knows of no other incidences regarding this and will take action as their line manager to prevent repeat occurrences. Learning. Throughout the handling of this complaint, we have carefully considered whether there are any opportunities for learning or improvement. Learning identified, yes. If yes, details are. I'm not going to read that now, or maybe I should read it. Yeah? No, all officers have entered your home equipped with personal protection equipment to help fight the COVID-related pandemic. There has been many internal reminders for officers to ensure they wear face coverings and gloves where close proximity is unavoidable. Officers are reminded to offer this protection to the people they are dealing with. It is clear from the image that this did not happen, and as an isolated incident, I have decided to inform the officer's line manager to deal with this matter in the manner in which they feel appropriate to prevent further occurrences. Your right to review. Yeah? There it is. I'm not reading it. All I'm going to say, have a look. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. Coronavirus row over union claims of appalling worker mistreatment at organization running Sodok nurseries. So this is the building that was given priority and named a victim over me, a person with disabilities who have an appointment for a flu job on the date I was asked to come for interview. Yet the officers can turn up on the day before the interview. Their argument is I had gone back to the place that Holly Sweeney was assigned to the case from the 17th of November. Yeah? So why did she not act? Yeah? Then I put this in. Counterterrorism as a crime prevention, a holistic approach. Within democratic societies, counterterrorism is almost exclusively about crime prevention. A broad and holistic approach to preventing terrorism can be based on 9 preventative mechanisms: building normative barriers against terrorism, reducing radicalization and recruitment. I was radicalized from the time I returned from burying my mother. Those in the okay, I'll read that. Read that, and I tell you more. Deterrence, disruption, incapacitation, protecting vulnerable targets, reducing benefits. Did the police protect me? No, because they come to murder me to say I committed suicide. Reducing benefits to terrorists. Police were paid by leave to come and murder me to say I committed suicide. Reducing harm. Police assaulted me in my home, resulting in bruises that was noticed by the handcuff. Removal of the handcuff by the Sergeant Patel. And then the next day I noticed the bruise on my arm. I reported to my GP. One idiot police boy named Neil Solis said he asked me for photographs and whatever, so I didn't send it. So basically what he's saying, he doesn't believe I did sustain any bruises. And facilitating disengagement from terrorism. Counter-terrorist policies, see, the shake start. Counter-terrorist policies, I'm getting excited. Yeah, so that's exacerbating my disabilities. Counter-terrorist policies which are only based on a narrow range of repressive mechanisms and military measures tend to become overly heavy-handed, producing serious negative side effects which serve to enhance the problem rather than reducing it. A more holistic approach, making use of the entire range of preventative mechanisms, may lighten the impact of the hard measures by relying more on the impact of the softer and more positive measures to build moral barriers, reduce recruitment, and facilitate exit for terrorists. Yeah? So this is my place again as it is. Focus on here. I got up from here. Okay, let me give you a scenario. I'm sat there. My bell went. Looked through the window. Police vehicle. Went out the door. 2 doors to the main entrance, opened the door, put the door on the latch, came back in, put the other door on the latch. Because I had an experience, my husband and I were locked in. I had to call the builders from over there, put the key through the door, through the window, ask them to open the door for us. Chronic anxiety. In the report, okay, I got up from here when I was told I'm not supposed to use my phone. I was showing them the letter, the meeting with Suddock police station. They didn't come about that. So I got up from here, walked to here, because I said I'm going to speak to my husband to explain to him that the police were here because he didn't know of what was happening. By the time I got here, one police officer, Holly Sweeney, she was the main one. 2 others, the female and the male, approached me here. So I didn't reach further than where I'm standing here. The paper was squashed and everything. And this is where I was wrestled to the ground, handcuffed and taken out. Right? In their report, there's something about me tensing up, me resisting arrest, me wrestling a female officer, and at the same time I grabbed the taser from another officer, and they had to put pressure on my fingers to release. Now this is, if you can see, whenever I'm getting in whatever, this is what started to happen to me. So in the thingy I was tensing up, that was causing restraint on them or whatever. How can somebody with any sense who's supposed to be protecting people write something like this and give officers a pat on the back? I work with children in early years. I graduated from Lambeth College. Student of the year. Yeah? And you have to have safeguarding in place. Do training, updating and whatever to protect children. Safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. And they're going to write this report. I was on Sky News. The cost of child care, 2011. That's me. I never saw myself. And they're going to write me a report that they've written here and expect that I am not going to respond. Yeah? I've been contacting the media. Nobody's taking my story. So I'm doing it myself. Yeah? The Equality Act 2010. The Equality Act prohibits discrimination against people with a disability, whether this is physical or mental impairment. The impairment is expected to last 12 months or more and impact substantially on a person's day-to-day activities. I manage and control my disabilities. Yeah? Until after the death of my mother. I've been made a prisoner now, so I'm in this place over 6 years. The 22nd it will be the date I said my final goodbye to my mother. Yeah? United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child, Article 14, states that it is a basic entitlement of humans to enjoy their rights and freedoms without discrimination on any grounds. Second, miscarriage of justice by the legal system. When the judges said I was not a credible witness. This is my medical report. Yeah? The medical report that Judge Freya Hyde, Justice Simla sent back my case with caveats, disability. Judge Sang said I made up my disability, allowing Samantha Jones to argue on the grounds of Parkinson's. I could not put Parkinson's. I do not have a medical diagnosis for Parkinson's, so I got a chronic anxiety. I complained to the judicial ombudsman. They said they deal with the facts. Then Justice Simla turned around now and said yes, they deal with the fact. So what fact did she deal with, sending my case back to the EAT with caveats? And then after that, Justice Simla was in the Daily Express advocating on behalf of criminals not to be deported to Jamaica. But yet now, I've been made a criminal. They've same like how I've exhausted every channels available. And now all my cases have been sent to Central London County Court for civil district judge to impose restraint order. I found out he had a misconduct. They exchanged him with Judge Parfit. Now I've put in a complaint. The judiciary is give me a casework. I haven't heard anything. All the judgments, my money to be paid, they're sitting down waiting. Police, all of them. Yeah? Strike out my claims against the union. Voice. After they got two solicitors to contact me, they're defending the claim. So all they do, waiting. So they're playing the waiting game. Police, you're gonna get it. Police, you're gonna get it. You're supposed to be protecting us, but what are you protecting? 9 police officers charged. They were in a restaurant. These 4 came to my home. The intention was to murder me, to say I committed suicide. So that's why they didn't come prepared with any PPE, whatever, because their intention was claimed. Those body cams were not on. They're making it up from the ones who came the evening. Yeah? So they're putting those body cams together, saying things from memory, as the idiot boy, Neil Soley, said. Holly Sweeney wrote her report from what she remembered on the 30th. Yeah? Yes. From her memory. So what is the camera there for? Neil Solis, you is a lying bastard, dirty idiot boy who write this report. That's what you are. Yeah? A sorry excuse for a human being for writing such a report and believing it's gonna pass muster. After the email conversations we have, I am going to brush my teeth, put in my denture, and I'll be at work. I'm working for my universal credit. The same universal credit that threatened me with criminal record. To where now Sergeant Patel is going to comment on how fit you're so fit. Was that not all premeditated from what is in this report? Yeah? And do you have a British passport? So now the time limit for a criminal to be deported has been lowered from 12 months to 6 months. So now I'm going to fall in that. Come on, get a life. Not this girl who, my father, was a storyteller. My mother sing and was silent, and I only heard her story the January and she died the June. So I nearly missed. Yeah? So I heard her story just before I meet the Reverend Rose Hudson Wilkin, who at the time said she was going home to Jamaica to interview her mother. It was then when she told me I am Ducky's cousin. Because she asked me, where are you from in Jamaica? And I said, Townhead. She said, my granny is from Burn Savannah. I didn't tell her at the time, but my mother and her grandmother are related. I'm on the statistic. My grandparents were land barons from Grangehill, Westmoreland. Chambers Lane, Sterling was my grandparents, our great-grandparents. Status, prestigious, yeah? My grandfather walked away from everything. You will be hearing from me.